Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to achieve Jared Leto's Joker look from the new Suicide Squad movie. Now I did try to gender bend this one, turns out my face doesn't really like being masculine, but maybe a little bit of a compliment. I'm first going to start with the base, and for that I'm going to mix a bit of my white foundation with my normal yellow base foundation. Once I've mixed that on a palette I'm going to apply that all over the face. Now if you are changing your skin tone to be either lighter or darker, you do need to make sure that this is not only going over the whole face, but up into the hairline, over the ears, around the back of the ears, and down onto the neck and chest, wherever it's showing. Now I'm going to bounce that in with a damp sponge just to really make sure that it looks a part of my skin and isn't just sitting on top. Then I'm going to take a contour shade. This is actually a cream contour shade. With this, I'm really going to try and sculpt out my face. Now I probably actually could have gone darker for this, so I really would have changed my shape to a more masculine shape, but nonetheless, so basically what I did is I followed underneath my cheekbones and then right down past my lips onto my jaw. This will give you a really masculine looking contour. So as you can see there, it's more of an arch. We will blend this in later. I'm also going around my chin just to really sculpt that out, and then I'm going to blend that out with the brush that I applied my foundation with. Now this works for the larger areas where you don't need to be too precise with the blending. For the cheekbones I did use my damp beauty blender just to really kind of bounce it in. I didn't want the contour shade to go too far up or down, so just keep blending until you have that looking fairly part of the skin. Again, I could have gone darker. You can if you like to really achieve that masculine look. If you want to go as a male Joker, feel free to go as a female though. I'm also bringing that down the sides of my nose, as he has quite a narrow tall nose and I really wanted to emulate that. And I'm just blending that in with my fingertips. I'm also bringing it around my jowls, which you'll never really see me do because I have very prominent jowls anyway, but because he's so mad and has this mad laughter about him, I thought, definitely necessary. So with a thin brush I applied the contour cream and then bounced it in again with my beauty blender to get a really precise blend so it doesn't end up all over the face. Then I'm just going to also contour my chin. He has quite a prominent ball of the chin, and I tried to emulate that with a little bit of contour cream, again with the damp sponge to bounce it in. Then with a highlight shade, I mixed a yellow and a pink undertone highlight shade on a fluffy brush. I went over the high points of my face and also setting the foundation that's in those areas. So that's the high points of the cheeks, on that ball of the chin, and I also went over my forehead, which I didn't show. Then I'm going to take a really warm dark brown, and I'm going to use this as the base for the black over the eyes. Now this is a really smudged out eye look. This is almost as if he's just kind of grabbed colour, smudged it all over his eyes so that they look quite dark. It looks really lived in. It's not paint, it's more shadows, and it just looks really dirty. So I'm just blending out any harsh edges, but I'm not going for a perfect eye look. Then I'm going to take a matte black and I'm going to go over what we just did, mainly on the lid. And for this I'm going to also use fingertips to help blend this out. Again, I feel as if this is sort of a fingertip sort of look, so I'm really going to kind of smudge that out, and I'm not going to worry about priming the lids because I want the oils of my lids to really mess this up throughout the day, and that way it'll look a lot more lived in. Then with that same matte black and on a very thin eyeliner brush, I'm going to create some veins coming out. Now these aren't veins, these look more like the products got stuck in the wrinkles around his eyes, which I realised after I made a frowny face. So I'm also going to frown and follow the natural lines that I have coming up my brow. And this is also going to give you that really lived in appearance, and also as if that product has travelled a little bit up the face. So he's too busy killing and maiming and whatnot, causing havoc, to really care about where it ends up. I'm also doing a little bit of wrinklage around the corners of my eyes, and then with a Kajal liner in black I'm going to use this to tightline the eyes, and I'm also going to use it along the waterline. And I am going to smudge it out along the lashes as well because I don't want it to look, perfect eyeliner. So also taking that on top of the lid as well, right up against the lashes, blending it out with fingertips. Now so that the lashes don't look too lost, they did look a little bit black in the reference photos, so I'm just going to take my mascara and without curling just go over the lashes. Then I'm going to take a warm lighter brown shade. I just felt like this didn't look warm enough. In the pictures it looks really quite warm. So with a fluffy brush I'm just going around the edge of the black and the brown that we did use just to warm it up. It also makes it look a little bit dirtier, which I really like as well. Then I'm going to take a deep undertone red. Now I don't want this to stay very well because I want it to kind of fade. I want it to follow the cracks of the lips, and I want to kind of, be able to smudge it around as well. I don't want this lip to be perfect. So after I get a good amount of the product on there and kind of rub it in with my lips, I'm going to blot off the excess. And then I'm going to go in with another layer. Again, we're using quite a bit of product because I want this to travel. I want this to crack. I don't want this to look perfect. I'm also going to sharpen up that cupid's bow just with my fingertip real quick. And then we're blotting again. Then I'm going to go in with my Skin Illustrator FX palette, and I'm going to use the black shade to create his J tattoo on his cheek. Just remember that if you are creating this in the mirror, be aware of the direction of your J. I had already filmed this tutorial beforehand, and I did the J in the completely wrong direction. So now it's in the right direction, now it looks like a J. If you happen to make any mistakes with these alcohol paints, you can use a bit of alcohol just to wipe it away and try again. Then I'm going to go in with a powder contour, and I'm using a small fluffy brush to really etch out those cheekbones and really add masculinity to my shape. I don't know if it's a compliment or not, but I just couldn't seem to make my face look masculine, so I don't know. I'll try a bit harder with some darker shades next time, I think. Then I'm also going to bring that around the chin as well to really make that ball of the chin prominent. And I'm also going to add some stippling of stubble. So with the black alcohol paints, I'm just going to use a black sponge just to really stipple that on. And I've also sprayed my hair green with a green hairspray from Priceline, added some foil to my teeth as a makeshift grill, and there you have it, your Joker. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Bye! Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to achieve this snake-like look.